She messaged me in the middle of my workday. I'm thinking we might need to split up. No emojis, no softening language, just dropped like a pin pulled halfway out of a grenade. Normally, this was where I'd pause, reread, feel my stomach tighten, then scramble to fix whatever imaginary offense I'd committed that week. But this time, something felt different. Not anger, not sadness. Relief. I replied immediately. I'm on board. Your belongings will be on the front steps in 60 minutes. The typing indicator appeared instantly, vanished, reappeared, then my phone exploded. Wait, what? I was joking. Call me right now. This isn't funny. I was testing you. Testing me. There it was, the quiet part said out loud. I muted my phone and leaned back in my chair. I was 31, sitting at my workstation, reviewing financial summaries when the fog finally lifted. Olivia was 28, and she'd been running these little emotional drills for months. Threaten distance, watch me panic, pull back, repeat. Every time I didn't bend to her latest demand, she'd float the idea of ending things. It was her way of steering the relationship without ever gripping the wheel. The last time was because I couldn't take a random Thursday off for her coworker's backyard barbecue. Apparently that was proof I didn't prioritize her. But this time, I was done participating. I stood up, grabbed a stack of boxes from the storage closet, and got to work. 2 years. That's how long she'd been slowly moving in without ever signing a lease. No discussion, no agreement, just gradual occupation, like ivy crawling up a wall. It started in the bathroom. 17 bottles of conditioner, sheet masks stacked like poker chips, a flat iron that cost more than my microwave. The medicine cabinet looked bare and without her clutter she'd set once. I packed it all neatly. Bedroom next. Outfits she left just in case. A jewelry organizer that somehow became permanent. Decorative pillows whose sole function was making sleep more complicated. A fake succulent she swore elevated the aesthetic. Into the box. Living room. Yoga mat. Coffee table books she never opened but positioned just right. A throw blanket that felt like burlap. A framed photo of us from her cousin's wedding. She looked radiant. I looked like someone trying not to blink too much. I hesitated for half a second, then packed it. Kitchen. Artisanal teas she never drank. A juicer used exactly twice. Stemware for wine she only sipped for social media. The air fryer she begged for, then complained took up counter space. All of it went into boxes. 45 minutes later, 6 cartons and 3 trash bags sat by the door. Labeled, organized, ready. My phone was apocalyptic. Missed calls, paragraphs, voice notes I saved for later entertainment. I carried everything outside and arranged it neatly on the front steps. Took a photo, sent it. Everything's outside. Please retrieve within 2 hours or it goes curbside for charity pickup. The response was immediate. You can't do this. I pay rent. She didn't. She occasionally chipped in for groceries. By occasionally, I mean twice in 6 months. I'm coming over. We need to talk. You're overreacting. It was a joke. A joke. Like the time she jokingly threatened to throw out my vintage concert shirts because I chose my brother's Stag Night over her office mixer. Or when she jokingly updated her relationship status to single after I wouldn't buy her a designer necklace. Comedy gold. 20 minutes later, her sedan fishtailed into my driveway. She was out before it stopped rolling, mascara already streaking, pounding on the door while the doorbell cam caught everything. Open up, this is unhinged. Through the door, calm as ever, I replied, your items are on the steps. Please take them and leave. I'm not going until we talk. Then I'll call the police for trespassing. Your choice. She saw the nearest box and hurled it at the door. Then she collapsed onto the steps and called her backup. Speakerphone, of course. Her mom. What's going on, honey? He's evicting me over a text. What did the text say? Silence. Well, I might have suggested splitting up, but I was kidding. Even through the phone, the pause was deafening. Olivia Marie, her mother finally said, come home, we'll sort it out. That was the moment I knew this wasn't going to end cleanly, because Olivia wasn't done, not even close. What I didn't realize that night was that the boxes on the front steps weren't the ending. They were the trigger. The first 3 days after Olivia left followed a predictable arc. Day 1 was denial. She texted like nothing had happened, sending casual messages as if she'd simply gone out for groceries and would be back any minute. Day 2 was rage. Accusations, blame, long paragraphs about how heartless I was. Day 3 was negotiation layered with surveillance. It started at 2 in the morning. "We need to talk," she texted. "I'm late." Late for what? My cycle. I might be pregnant. I stared at the screen, unimpressed. She'd been on the pill for years. We hadn't been intimate in weeks because she'd labeled me emotionally distant. Still, I kept it simple. "Take a test. If it's positive, we'll handle it through attorneys." Silence. There was no pregnancy. That angle died quietly. Then came the online performance. She posted a tear-streaked selfie with a caption about being discarded after investing 2 years of her life over a misunderstanding. Her friends swarmed the comments, calling me toxic, cruel, emotionally unavailable. But cracks appeared quickly. A mutual friend commented, "Didn't you break up with him?" The post vanished within the hour. Next, she claimed I was withholding her property. Suddenly, sentimental items existed that she'd never mentioned before. A charger, a necklace. I reminded her everything had been placed outside and collected. I also mentioned the doorbell footage. That ended that conversation. When emotional manipulation failed, she escalated to professional sabotage. She called my workplace pretending to be a medical office with urgent test results. Reception transferred the call to my phone. I recognized her voice immediately. Impersonating medical personnel is illegal. "She just needed to reach you," she said, crying. "This is harassment. Any further contact goes through lawyers." She hung up. The most surreal moment came a few days later at my gym. I was midway through a workout when a staff member approached me, uncomfortable. "This woman says she's your partner and misplaced her key fob." I looked over and saw Olivia standing confidently at the desk like she belonged there. "She's my ex," I said. "We broke up. She's not authorized." Her face twisted instantly. "Don't be like this," she said loudly. "You're embarrassing me." Security escorted her out as she accused me of sabotaging her wellness routine, a routine she hadn't followed once in 2 years of the membership I paid for. That afternoon, her friend Lauren called. "You need to take Olivia back." "Why?" "She's been crying non-stop on my couch for days." "That sounds like a you problem." Lauren sighed. "She says this was just a test. Everyone tests relationships." "No," I said calmly. "Healthy people don't." Lauren lowered her voice. "She's threatening something drastic." "What, exactly?" "She booked a flight to her ex-boyfriend's city." I almost laughed. "I wish them happiness." "You're cold," Lauren snapped. "I'm single," I replied, "by her choice." I blocked Olivia everywhere that night. 2 weeks passed. Peace returned. Then it shattered again. Apparently, the ex-boyfriend trip never happened. She'd stayed with an aunt and staged photos for social media. Even her relatives were exhausted. A cousin messaged me apologetically with the truth. Then Olivia hired a life coach. Not a therapist. A friend with an online certificate who messaged me on LinkedIn about dissolving negative energy barriers and facilitating restorative dialogue. I declined. She didn't stop. Olivia began appearing at group events, game nights, pub quizzes, beach volleyball, always acting surprised to see me, despite being explicitly told not to come. She cornered friends and retold the story, each version more dramatic than the last. By version 10, I was the villain who orchestrated her downfall. People started avoiding her. When that failed, she waited outside my office building with signs. Not inside, she knew the rules now, just close enough. Security warned her once. The second time, police were called. That's when I filed for a restraining order. The hearing was short. The judge reviewed the messages, the footage, the witness statements from my gym and workplace. Olivia tried to argue it was all a misunderstanding. The judge asked one simple question. Why would anyone joke about ending a relationship? Her answer was quiet. To see if he really loved me. The judge shook his head. That's manipulation, not communication. The order was granted. 500 feet, no contact. Even then, she tried workarounds. Notes sent through friends, burner accounts, having her mother call, all blocked. The final attempt was bold. She applied for a job at my company. HR flagged it immediately. Her legal threats went nowhere. And then, silence. 6 months later, my life is calm in a way I didn't know was possible. I got promoted. My apartment feels like mine. No decorative pillows, no mood boards, just peace. I ran into her mother at the grocery store recently. She apologized, said Olivia was working on herself. I hope that's true, but it's finished. She nodded. You were a good thing. Past tense. And that's the lesson. When someone threatens to leave as a tactic, let them. If they wanted to stay, they wouldn't dangle departure. And if ending the relationship is a test, it's already failed. My only regret is not acting sooner. Those decorative pillows were genuinely torture to sleep with.